All right, guys, one more way to solve quadratic equations today. We're going to do quadratic formula. It solves any of them and all of them. It's pretty darn awesome. Let's check it out. Let me do that. First of all, there is the quadratic formula. That's exactly what it looks like. I hope you've seen that before. If you haven't, it's kind of daunting when you first see it, but it's really not that bad at all, and it works out great. And there's a song to help you memorize it, and it goes kind of like, I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to sing. Sorry about that in advance, but it goes x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's the song. We'll practice that in class tomorrow. I can't believe I just did that because this video is going on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's the formula. It's amazing. It solves every single quadratic. And I'm going to show you two on the next two slides, just how great it really is. And let me tell you something while we use it. And stuff won't factor. Factoring is the best method. It's the absolute best method of solving quadratics. It's quick, it's easy, and it's done. However, not everything factors. Because everything factors, we have to have alternate methods. Then we did complete the square the other day. All right, complete the square is good as long as that middle number is even. If you notice, we didn't do any of them where the middle term was odd because it gets really crazy and difficult. This is what you do when it won't factor and it's odd in the middle or there's a number in the front because it works every time. Let me show you one. Here we go. So let's solve this thing. And notice it won't factor. There's no factors of 4 that will give you 9. And it's not a good one to complete the square because if you take half the middle, you're going to get a fraction. It's crazy. So here I go. I'm just going to do the formula. X equals negative b. This, by the way, that's the a, that's the b, that's the c. We talked about that earlier. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, a is 1. And I'm just going to work all that out, okay? I'll be honest, the best strategy is to work out what's inside your radical first, maybe even before you start. Punch it in your calculator, that's 81 minus 16, that's 65. On the bottom is 2, and the beauty of that is 65, you can't break down any, so you're just stuck right there, and you know what? That's your answer, right there, far as you can go. Okay, sometimes you're going to be done, sometimes you can simplify it some more, but on that one, it's it. Okay, all there is to it. Let's try one more. All right, negative 3x squared plus 5x plus equals 4. Now, one thing to know about this one is do not do the quadratic formula unless you have all your a's and b's and c's on the same side. So I'm going to move that 4 over first. Doesn't matter what's positive, what's negative, because you're going to plug in the formula anyway. So here it goes. X equals negative b, in this case negative 5, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4a c. Make sure you bring the signs down with the a and the c. All over 2a. All right, now your job again. Work out what's inside the radical. Okay, inside the radical, 25 minus 48. That's going to be negative 23 in there over negative 6. And I would be done, except you're not allowed to leave a negative inside a radical ever. You know what to do by now when you have a negative inside. You must pull an I out of there. So my final answer is going to be negative 5 plus or minus I on 23 over negative 6. One thing you could do also, you could go ahead and divide the negative 5 and negative 6, and also divide negative 6 into here, because plus or minus, if you change the sign on plus or minus, it becomes minus plus. So you could also do this. I'm not going to count off if you don't do this, but if you were to check your answer like somewhere, that's probably what you would see. But both of those are equivalent, so that's fine. All right, that's 2 of those. I hope that makes some sense to you. The beauty of the quadratic formula is it will solve any quadratic equation at any time, at any place. It's awesome. All right, the discriminant, the last thing today. The discriminant is this part of the quadratic formula, just the b squared minus 4ac. Think about what that is. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. It's inside the radical. So here's the deal. If inside the radical is positive, if you work this out, it's positive, you're going to get 2 real roots, which mean answers. If you get a negative answer, you're going to get 2 imaginary roots, which is what we got on the last slide. If it equals 0, if you get 0 inside the radical, you're going to get 1 dr. Don't forget what dr stands for, double root. You're going to get the same answer twice. You need to write that down, make sure you have that. If it's positive, you get 2 real ones. That's what happened on our first slide today. If it's negative, you get 2 imaginary. That's what we got on our second slide today. We haven't seen this yet, but if you think about it, you'll get like negative 2 plus or minus square root of 0 over, I don't know, 4. Square root of 0 is 0, that's gone. So really and truly, that's your only answer. Negative 2/4 or negative 1/2. But it counts twice. It's a dr. We did drs the other day. So let me show you one of those and we're done. It says find the discriminant and describe the number of type of solutions of the equation. So discriminant is just this part, remember. It's just b squared minus 4ac. So I'm going to do b squared, which is 9, minus 4ac. And just figure out what that is. I should have brought my calculator with me. 3 times 18 is 54, times 4 is 216, I think it's negative 207. Either way, it's negative. That's all that matters. The value doesn't matter as much as it's negative. All right, so if it's negative 207, that means there's going to be two imaginary roots or solutions, because I do roots instead of solutions because there's fewer letters, because it's negative. And if I were to solve that, watch how quick this would be. If you do this part first, like if you did discriminant first, you could just go ahead and go x equals negative b plus or minus the square root. I've already done that part all over 2a. So a lot of times it's good to go ahead and do discriminant anyway, because you've already worked out the hardest part of your quadratic formula. All right, like I said earlier, I hope you've seen that somewhere before. We're going to work on it tomorrow like we always do, try several of them, and it's just pretty neat how that works. Anyway, I'll see you in class tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you.